Uh,
Is it okay? Hi, welcome to Kingmaker Science Academy CSAT Awareness Program. You know very well, for the last few years, most of the students, those who are preparing for the civil service examinations, they are finding it very difficult to solve certain questions, particularly in the CSAT paper. So we thought that let us have 3 days free orientation for the benefit of the students, those who are willing to prepare for the CSAT examination. We have two resource persons. One is Mr. Vivek, another one is Mr. Prabhu. When the CSAT paper was introduced, many students they found it was a very big challenge for all the candidates those who came from the rural background. After attending the classes of Mr. Vivek and Prabhu, they felt so confident. Then they were able to achieve. During that time, the CSAT paper was the main paper. The marks which was secured by the candidates was calculated for the selection in the prelims exam. But after 2015, they brought certain changes. CSAT it became qualifying papers. Then onwards, the students, those who are preparing for the civil service examinations, they focus more on the GS papers. They normally used to spend hardly 10 or 15% of their time for the CSAT paper. Even some are not at all giving importance, particularly if they are coming from the engineering background. Because of the overconfidence, though they are really performing well in the GS paper, they are not performing really well in the CSAT paper. Finally, they are not able to achieve. Considering all these things, Tamil Nadu government, as per the direction of the Tamil Nadu government, Kingmaker Science Academy decided to create some kind of awareness among all the aspirants to tell them that this is the paper where you need to focus more because nowadays the paper has become very difficult. Once if the candidates, if they were good in the aptitude, easily they can clear. Some were good in the English, they used to forget about the aptitude, even then they used to clear. But nowadays, even if you are good in one particular area, if you are not good in the other area, obviously you will be losing your grade. So students are required to focus more on CSAT, particularly in both the areas, comprehension as well as in the aptitude. Friends, Kingmaker Science Academy has already produced many candidates, particularly in 2000, before 2015. Many got qualified in the civil service examination because of the prelims examination, because of the CSAT. The reason was Mr. Vivek and Prabhu. So today they are with us. They are going to coach you. If you are going to attend this 3 days free orientation, I am sure your confidence level will go up. If you are going to watch all those classes which are available in the Aptitude Buster, it is an app which is developed by our team, that is Mr. Vivek and Prabhu. If you are going to solve all those problems, I'm sure definitely you will feel more comfortable. So they are with us. So the Aptitude Buster is the best example for the best quality of the content which was prepared by our Vivek and Prabhu. So the Kingmaker Science Academy has taken this initiative, not only this 3 days free orientation, but also a separate module for the CSAT. Though all the institutes are having the CSAT program in the prelims cum mains foundation course, it is a 1-year program where even in Kingmaker Science Academy last year we gave so much of importance. Even then the students they found very difficult when they went to the examination hall. So we thought that we have to cover the entire syllabus in a limited period of time so that you can focus more on your self studies. You have to practice more. So we have decided to start a batch separately for the CSAT. Not only the students of Kingmakers IAS Academy, but also the students from various parts of Tamil Nadu and various institutes, they can also come and avail these services. The fees and everything it is fixed. 15,000 rupees they have fixed. Directly you can pay either to Kingmakers IAS Academy, otherwise you can directly pay to the Aptitude Buster. Apart from the regular classes, they are also planning to provide some kind of mock test, unlimited mock test. So all these facilities are available. So try these 3 days free classes and orientation. Then you decide if you are affordable and if you are thinking that this will be really useful for your preparation, then you can think about joining the course. Those who are watching through online, I humbly request to give more importance for this CSAT for the upcoming prelims examination. Most of the students from Tamil Nadu, they have failed in the CSAT paper in the 2022 prelims. They have really performed well in the GS paper. So please kindly give more importance for the CSAT paper. Try to practice previous year question papers. Try to join some coaching institutes. We are not telling you that you have to come to Kingmakers IAS Academy. There are many institutes who are offering this kind of course. But since because 2 experts are available in Tamil Nadu, we thought that this course will be really useful for the students community. First time in Kingmakers IAS Academy, a separate module is inaugurated today. So already we have inaugurated a separate module for the essay program, and today we are inaugurating the separate program for the CSAT. So now I am very happy to introduce both the resource person, Mr. Prabhu and Vivek. Please come to the stage.
Thank you for the introduction. This has been largely discussed in detail, but one has to be, no? It is. Okay. The problems that faced in CSAT is something well known, right? Yes. Talk about. Let's start with comprehension. For you to crack questions on comprehension, what is the skill required? Because the most common understanding when it comes to CSAT comprehension questions is comprehension is often compared with reading comprehension of other exams, right? And we often compare ourselves this question type with other reading comprehension question types, right? But there is one striking difference between comprehension question types of CSAT and reading comprehension of all other examinations in general. What's that difference? Can anyone tell me? I have to think for a while and let me give me the answer. First, have you understood my question? Okay. How many of you have given your prelims? Almost everyone, right? How many of you haven't? Those 3 can be exceptions. But at least those who have given your prelims, you can give from your experience what is that one striking difference, or what is the difficulty that you face when it comes for answering questions on comprehension, CSAT comprehension, more specifically. You find options are closer. Okay. Or you're finding it difficult to find answers, right? among the answer choices. That is a difficulty that you face. Most common difficulty is among the four options, you are unable to identify the right choice. Or in your own words, more than one answer choice is convincing. Correct? Okay, that is a difficulty. Okay. I'll come back to the question once again. What are the difficulties? Okay. The question is that I asked for the striking difference between CSAT comprehension and comprehension in general. Okay. Let me come to that question a little later. You talk about your difficulties while you are on solving this particular question type. It's time consuming. Okay. 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 You can answer in Tamil also. சரி. அப்ப என்னெல்லாம் பிரச்சனை? ஆப்ஷன்ஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப க்ளோஸரா இருக்கு. டெக்ஸ்ட் படிச்சு புரிஞ்சுக்கிறது கஷ்டமா இருக்கா? அப்படின்னு நீங்க சொல்றீங்க. ஓகே, ரெண்டாவது. மூணாவது, அதோட ஃப்ளோ ஆஃப் தாட் எடுக்க முடியல. ஓகே, அப்புறம் வேற என்ன டிஃபிகல்டிஸ்? காம்ப்ரிஹென்ஷனுக்கு இவ்வளவுதான் டிஃபிகல்டிஸ் வர முடியுமே. சரியா? உனக்கு கொடுக்கறதே நாலு சென்டென்ஸ் தான், 5 சென்டென்ஸ். அவ்வளவு லென்த்தி பேசேஜ் வருதா என்ன? எத்தனை லென்த்தி பேசேஜஸ் வந்துச்சு? That can be easily dismissed. Come, see, you have minimum 20 to 25 passages. All are short ones, right? That is the first striking difference between comprehension questions of other examinations to comprehension in CSAT. Most probably, the other versions, a passage will be followed by minimum 3 to 4 questions to max 7 questions. So, which means if you understand one passage, the chances of you answering 3 to 5 questions are maximum. Thereby, the time consumption problems are taken care. But this adds up, right? Because you have number of passages more and the number of questions for each passage does not exceed 2. And most of the cases, it stops with just 1. So you have to imagine yourself the time taken to read a passage, understand it, and ask the question, that too relevantly. That's where you find you are in trouble. Second major difference, let me ask you from your understanding, for you to score well in comprehension, what is that one quality required? என்ன தெரிஞ்சிருந்தா போதும் காம்ப்ரிஹென்ஷன் ஆன்சர் பண்ண முடியும்? இங்கிலீஷ் ரீட் பண்ண தெரிஞ்சா போதும். கரெக்டா? ஓகே, ஓகே. தென் காம்ப்ரிஹென்ஷன் ஆன்சர் பண்றதுக்கு என்ன குவாலிட்டி வேணும்னு கேக்குறேன். சரி, let me rephrase the question, let me simplify it. Do you think for you to score well in CSAT comprehension, proficiency in English is enough? How many of you say no? 1, 2, 3. Interesting. Say why. Huh. சரி, ஓகே. ஓகே. ஓகே, நீங்க என்ன சொன்னீங்கல்ல? It's very simple, Ra. Had it been only on English, or had those passages test your proficiency in English, then why do they translate in Hindi? All the passages in CSAT are in 2 languages, right? As simple as that. What does it mean then? So this is not the fundamental requirement. This could be an added advantage. We do not know Hindi, so we choose to answer questions in English. But if we think that proficiency in English is the gateway to answer CSAT comprehension, you're lost at that moment itself. It is beyond, and that's where analytical reasoning comes into picture. For all other or the other earlier patterns or the exposure that you have on reading comprehension is more bent on your language proficiency. That's English. And for CSAT, it is an add-on advantage. It is not the only requirement. Okay? Is it clear? From this point, we have to move towards getting comprehension questions right. And in the next stage, you say this is the trouble. You begin with time consumption and moving down to getting the choices right. You have figured out the problem, of course, and you are not different. You very much belong to the mainstream. Every single aspirant who has lost his attempt feels so that they couldn't find the answer. What do you do? Isam prachana. You identified, right? Next. You identify the problem. What should be the next step? Next logical step? What's the next logical step? There you need to troubleshoot. You are shorted. You have understood. You are unable to find answers confidently on comprehension. And you are listed two other troubles. That is, it consumes a lot of time, yet you are unable to get the train of thought or the main crux of the passage. Fine. These are the problems you listed down. Now, as an aspirant, you'll be taking some strategies to overcome those troubles, right? What are those strategies? What do you do? These are all supposed. இப்படி பண்ணனா ஓவர் கம் நீங்க சொல்றீங்க. மை கொஸ்டின் இஸ் இதுதான் ப்ராப்ளம் ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணிட்டல, அப்ப நீ என்ன பண்ற? அந்த ட்ரபிள் ஓவர் கம் பண்றதுக்கு நீ என்ன பண்ற? ஓகே. அப்ப நீ எதுவுமே பண்ணல. பண்ணல சொல்லிருப்பல. அப்ப இப்படி ப்ரொலாங் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கு. இதெல்லாம் ட்ரபிள்ஸ். இந்த ட்ரபிள்ஸ் வச்சு நீ இப்படி ப்ரொலாங் பண்ற, அடுத்த ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் வரப்போகுது. So you think that it will be solved? It will be aggravated, right? When you lose touch. ஹரி கிட்ட சொல்லுங்க. ஷீட்ஸ் கொண்டு வர சொல்லுங்க.
ஷீட்ஸ் தான் அவர் போட்டுட்டு இருக்காரு. அந்த ஷீட்ஸ் தானே
வேர்பல் ஒன்னா இருக்கணும். கொஞ்சம் சீக்கிரம்.
ஓகே
இது ஓகே. இது மீன்ஸ் பண்ணுறேன். எனக்கு அந்த ஷீட் சீக்கிரம் வேணும். அப்படி இல்லைன்னா அந்த ஷீட்டை ஷேர் பண்ண முடியுமா?
அது எனக்கு
கொஞ்சம் சீக்கிரம் ஷீட் கொண்டு வர சொல்லுங்க. These are three major troubles that you talked about, right? Yes? Now, what are the strategies? What are the solutions? How do you ensure that you would overcome these so that when you appear for the next prelims, you'll be confident that you'll clear it? You'll solve previous year questions. Then you start with grammar. Okay, second. Fine. You list down. We'll just go for your opinion. One is previous year papers. The other one is you start with grammar. You will strengthen your language skills. Then you read newspapers. Mm. Then keep on practicing. On what? On what? Okay. I believe almost everyone is into it, right? When you say you are an UPSC aspirant, obviously you have two papers for prelims, paper one, paper two, and you're supposed to do this. Then why the trouble persist? If you think this is the solution, this must have mitigated this problem, right? It doesn't work. Am I right? You all read newspapers and you say that is the solution for this problem. If it's true, it must work out. Either you shouldn't state it that this is a problem because you're reading newspapers. Correct? Then what else? Huh? You take mock test, huh?
Even though we read newspaper, we don't understand the crux of the article that
That makes sense.
we just read it naturally, just go through it, going through a newspaper, just read it all. But understanding each and every word, every passage is a thing for an aspirant. Only then you will understand. You can analyze, only if you analyze, you can understand. It goes hand in hand. Analyzing and understanding. Once you understand and analyze, start
Now, this is the thing, right? You state something as a problem. You yourself propose a solution. What I'm pointing out here is there is a gap between these two. The problem that you state and the remedies that you have taken in order to overcome those solutions do not match is my first point. Whoever wants to argue over it, you can. You stated these problems, you stated these are the solutions, but there is no connectivity because if these are the remedies, this must have helped you, right? And next common practice is not only for you that everyone does, solving previous year questions. Solving previous questions on aptitude, what will you derive out of it? Comprehension is a problem தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்ட ஓகேவா சோ மறுபடியும் நீ வந்து அதே காம்ப்ரிஹென்ஷன் பிராக்டிஸ் பண்ற பண்ணி அப்படி எத்தனை ஐடியாஸ் கிடைச்சது முதல்ல பிராக்டிஸ் பண்ணவங்க சொல்லுங்க ஏன்னா இத வந்து தாட்டா சொல்றீங்களா இல்ல ஆக்ஷன் பண்ணி பாத்தீங்களா did you ever try if you track the complexity of passages from which year onwards the number of passages increased have you compared the earlier CSAT editions passages in 2010 11 12 13 14 are different from the passages the last 3 years what is that difference நீ previous year paper practice பண்றேன்னு சொல்ற can you tell me this difference so that is one visible difference in the earlier editions the passages of CSAT themselves carried 3 to 4 questions 5 questions But slowly, the last three editions of CSAT, they restricted the number of questions for each passage. And at any given moment, rarely there are chances it had gone beyond three. Maybe few exceptions, but there are very, very few number, far and few. So from when on the complexity increased? Can you list down the question types? Those who say that I am practicing previous year papers, how many question types are expected in CSAT comprehension? Can you name me the types? Mm.
What is the main principle?
Mm. Okay, you're given three. Others. Wait. Others. What are the other question types? Then. What are the other question types? Tell me the question types at least. Okay, then. If you're going back to the previous year papers, at least you can remember the question types, right? Correct? Huh. Suitable title for the passage? It's rare, but recent ones, there isn't a single question asking for you to choose a title now. Okay. Any other question types? Like? What is the question type? I'm not asking the content for passages. I'm not asking you the passages deal with what are the subjects, history, philosophy, literature. I'm not talking about it. I'm asking what are the different question types. One is the most logical, rational inference. That's one question type. The second one is that which asks you to corroborate. Then, most logical corollary. Then, what are the question types? Just pass. So I believe from your understanding, you think that these are solutions, but please note that it has to be worked much more consciously if you want to answer for CSAT questions. This is not the way. If you continue reading newspapers alone, if you continue looking at the previous year papers alone, that's not going to tell you how to answer a question which asks for inference and how to answer a question which asks for you to find out the logical corollary. How do you find it? You know there will be a question. You know for sure for the next edition also there will be one question of logical inference. There will be one question of logical corollary. Well and good. CSAT comprehension is over. You can start. You can go home. Correct? சொல்லி முடிச்சிட்டேன். ஆன்சர் பண்ணிடுறியா என்ன? அந்த கொஸ்டின் டைப் வருங்கிறது தெரியும். அந்த கொஸ்டின் டைப் வந்தா எப்படி ஆன்சர் பண்ணுவ? நீ ப்ரீவியஸ் இயர் பேப்பர் பார்த்து கத்துக்கிறது இதுதான் முடியும். You can guess the patterns, right? What else? Now look at the first question. I'll give you 2 minutes time. Has everyone received the worksheet? Yes. First question is just one sentence. The text is just one sentence. It starts with the word some, ends with 1970s. I'll give you 2 minutes time. Read the text alone. Question number one is just a sentence. It's just one sentence. Have you read it? I'll give you some clues. First, first essential requirement, consider the given text as the author's argument. First step towards comprehension. Consider the given text as author's argument. By the way, what does the word argument mean? What does the word argument mean? Okay. It's a very common word. The word argument means okay. Simplify these two words. How to differentiate these two words? Differentiate an argument and a statement. What do you mean by an argument? What do you mean by a statement?
Does not take sides.
Okay.
And the argument, the word is not take sides.
Your answer is right. You're much closer, but hit the dot. What's the difference between these two? An argument and a statement. Better. A statement and another. Statement. An argument is always true. Find the difference. First, this is what you start thinking. Statement always states a fact that is acceptable. Argument states a fact that is questionable. So first thing that you have to keep in your mind is when you're given a text, when you read a passage, more specifically in the context of CSAT, consider the given text to be the author's argument. Meaning, the author presents an idea which could be true, could be false, could be partially true, or couldn't be. Do you understand the difference? The first problem with you is you tend to consider the comprehension passage as if you are reading a Bible. When you read a prescribed text on any religious thing, that is beyond question. This is not so. Got it? Okay. You need to interact with the text. Now, first step, what did I tell you? Consider the author's text to be an author's argument first. If you say the author's argument, then step one, identify the claim made in the argument. Claim, I mean the central idea. The author presents an idea, and that's what I'm asking you to find out. What is the claim presented by the author? Put it in a sentence. Put it in a sentence. Step one, I said, is to identify the claim, right? What is the claim in argument number one? Okay, that is the argument, right? Yes. Step one, have you understood? You will read any given text as author's argument. And what is the difference between the two stances? நீ ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் படிக்கிறதுக்கும் ஆர்குமெண்ட் படிக்கிறதுக்கு என்ன வித்தியாசம்? எப்ப ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் படிக்கிறியோ அப்ப பாசிவா இருப்ப டெக்ஸ்டோட. அங்க சொல்லியிருக்காங்க, நீ அதை அப்படியே பை பண்ணணும். ஆர்குமெண்டா பாக்குறேன்னா ஸ்டில் யூ நீட் டு பி ஸ்டில் மோர் அலர்ட், இல்லையா? அவர் என்ன சொல்றாரு, அதை எப்படி சொல்றாரு, அதை அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிக்க முடியுமா முடியாது. You understand the difference between the two stances? சரியா? As long as you read a given text as statements, you would tend to agree blindfoldly. The moment you consider that to be the author's argument, you start questioning what is the author's idea, how he presents it, should I accept it or not? Is there a room to agree or is there room to disagree? According to the question. Step 2 is to understand the question. Understand the given question. Tell me, I could have said read the question. What do I say? Understand the question. And what's the difference between the two? Reading a question and understanding it. Because your problems are here. You end up reading a question. That's way different from understanding it. How will you ensure that you understood? நான் சொல்றேன் ஸ்டெப் வந்து அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் தி கொஸ்டின். நீ எப்படி என்ஷூர் பண்ணிக்குவ கொஸ்டினோட மீனிங் இதுதான் அப்படிங்கிறது? கொஸ்டின் இதுதான் பண்ண சொல்லுதுன்னு எப்படி என்ஷூர் பண்ணுவ? That's where you need immense amount of practice. You need to attend lot more sessions like this, which will tell you whether you understood, whether you misunderstood, or you end up understanding it partially. How will you know it for yourself? Got it? Okay. First thing, I'll give you a clue. What does this question ask you to do? Question number 1. Can anyone read it louder? Hey, that is the text. Read the question, please.
Which of the following true is most weaken the claim with the tax sector per enhanced?
This is the very first question. So I have paraphrased the claim of the argument in the question itself. Okay. I could have stopped with weaken the claim. Question is complete. And that is how majority of CSAT questions are. It won't paraphrase what is being presented by the author. You're supposed to find it for yourself. That's the reason it consumes time. And that's the reason where you're stuck with where to find and how you, when you're given more than one closer answer choice, you're gone. Okay. So the question ends there. Weakens the claim. So what does the question ask you to do? அப்ப இங்க லாஜிக்ல என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு புரியுதா? என்ன தெரிஞ்ச இந்த கொஸ்டின் ஆன்சர் பண்ணலாம்? இப்ப நீ தான் டிசைட் பண்ணணும். இந்த கொஸ்டின் ஆன்சர் பண்ணணுமா வேண்டாமாங்கிறது யோர் கால். எப்ப டிசைட் பண்ணுவேன்? Because in CSAT 80 questions, if you answer confidently 40 questions, you're sure for the next level. You can sit for mains. Apo, how will you decide which question you'll answer and which you won't? I've given you the clue. I've taken to the first step, I've taken to the second step, I'm giving you the clue. Now you can take a decision to solve this, to answer it, or to skip it.
What are you think that happens to the question was the activities of the tax another here
ஓகே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கொஸ்டின் தான் நான் ரொம்ப கொஸ்டின் கேட்டேன் உன்னால ஆன்சர் பண்ண முடியாது. ரொம்ப சிம்பிள்ரா. டெசிஷன் எப்ப எடுப்ப இந்த கொஸ்டின் ஆன்சர் பண்ணலாமா வேண்டாமான்னு. கிளைம் புரிஞ்சதுன்னா கொஸ்டின் ஆன்சர் பண்ணலாம். கிளைம் புரியலன்னா கொஸ்டினை ஸ்கிப் பண்ணலாம். சிம்பிளா? Do you get my point? The question asks you to weaken the claim. Which are the following விட்டுரு, அதெல்லாம் விட்டுரு. It has to be among the 4 options, one has to weaken it for sure. அதை பத்தி நீ பாதர் பண்ணுங்கிற அவசியம் இல்லை. You are not asked to list out the options. இந்த டெக்ஸ்ட்டுக்கு come on list down 4 options உன்னை கேட்கறாங்க, டிஸ்கிரிப்டிவா கேட்கறாங்க என்ன? That's not your job. You've been given 4 options. The crux of the question is this. The question asks you to weaken the claim, right? How will you proceed further? When you are sure that the claim presented by the author is clear or has been understood clearly. Correct? Correct? Now, check yourself, cross-check yourself. Have you understood the claim? Have you understood the claim? 1 minute time. Get me the answer. worksheet ready ஆயிடுச்சு. நான் இங்க செக் பண்றேன், இங்க செக் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். Say confidently. Your answer is? Okay. Have you all answered? Have you all answered yes or no? Do you want more time? Do you want more time? Fine. How many of you answered? So tell me your answers. How many of you are inconclusive? How many of you couldn't find an answer? Raise your hands, please. Why? I'll come back to this batch a little later. Those who have found the answers, are you sure? Are you right? Yes? What's your answer? Those answers, please let me know. C. Someone said D. I'll give you open challenge. 4 options. You can state any choice as your answer, provided you give me the reasons to say why the other 3 choices are wrong. You're most welcome to choose or claim any choice as your answer, provided you must give me clear reasons to say why the other choices are eliminated. That's where the real game begins. And that's what step 3 is about, which requires, once again, let's see. I want you to analyze each choice. I didn't ask you to pick a choice that you like. The question asks you to get an answer, right? Do the analysis and justify your choice. Can you, those who said that your choice is right, I'm not asking you why your answer is right. I'm asking you why did you eliminate the other options? Okay, that is one. I'll give you some more time for you to get me the reasons. Those who couldn't find the answer, say why. உனக்கு கொஸ்டின் புரிஞ்சுது, கிளைம் என்னன்னு புரிஞ்சுது, கொஸ்டினோட மீனிங் புரிஞ்சுதா? அப்புறம் என்ன பிரச்சனை? தமிழ் இல்லையா? What stops you in getting the answer? Come on, those who couldn't find an answer, let me know what the trouble is. Okay. Your option is A. Okay. Option சம்பந்தமே இல்ல. ஏதோ ஒரு ரீசன் இருக்கணும்லடா, உன்னால இந்த கொஸ்டின் ஆன்சர் கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியல. ரெண்டு மினிமம் ரெக்யர்மெண்ட் சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை ஆகுது. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ரெக்யர்மெண்ட் என்ன? டெக்ஸ்ட் புரிஞ்சிருக்கணும்னு சொன்னேன், புரிஞ்சிருச்சு. செகண்ட் என்ன சொல்லியிருந்தேன்? கொஸ்டின் மீனிங் புரியணும்னு சொல்லியிருந்தேன், அதுவும் சாட்டிஸ்ஃபைடா? இவென்ச்சுவலி அப்ப இங்க வரணும் இல்லையா? அப்ப இங்க எங்க நீ ஸ்டக் ஆகுறாங்கிறது தெரியணும்ல. இவ்வளவு ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் வச்சுட்டு நான் நியூஸ் பேப்பர் படிக்கிறேன், ப்ரீவியஸ் இயர் பேப்பர்ஸ் பாக்குறேன், அப்புறம் வேற ஏதாவது சொன்னீங்க, அதையெல்லாம் பண்ணாத சரியா? அதெல்லாம் பண்றதுக்கு இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் டைம் ஆகும். நீ இதோட போய் பண்ணனா you do not know to interact with the text. ஒரு சென்டென்ஸ் தானே, I given you just one sentence as the text. அதுல எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ண நீ என்ன சொல்லல, you said that's I understood the claim, correct? அது யாரும் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ண சொன்னியா, எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ண சொன்னியா வேர்ட் பை வேர்ட்? இல்ல you understood, right? Fine. So you have enough exposure on comprehension. First you start believing in you. Second, the second important recommend is you must know what the question asked you to do. You understood the question asked you to weaken the claim. The third step is new. You haven't been into that. நீ காம்ப்ரிஹென்ஷன் என்ன நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்க? இதுவரைக்கும் நீ பண்ண காம்ப்ரிஹென்ஷனோட எக்ஸ்போஷர் என்ன? 5 பேராகிராஃப் இல்ல 4 பேராகிராஃப் இருக்கும். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கொஸ்டின் ஆன்சர் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பேராகிராஃப், செகண்ட் கொஸ்டின் செகண்ட் பேராகிராஃப் செகண்ட் சென்டென்ஸ் அப்படின்னு காப்பி அண்ட் பேஸ்டா இருக்கலாம், இல்லன்னா அதோட ரிஃபைன்ட் வெர்ஷனா இருக்கலாம். அதுல இருந்து டெக்ஸ்ட் எடுத்து வந்து நீ அப்ளை பண்ற, கரெக்டா? யூ ஆர் டூயிங் எ மேட்சிங் எக்ஸசைஸ், கரெக்ட் தானடா? அதனாலதான் உனக்கு நான் ஆன்சர் கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியல. Here I didn't ask you to match, I asked you to analyze. And what do you mean by analysis? What do you mean by analysis? Simple. Thursday பண்ண என்ன பண்ண சொல்றேன் அது சொல்லு. So that is the bedrock of all aptitude questions. Henceforth, whenever you attend CSAT classes, especially by me or by Aptitude Buster, you are free to choose any choice as your answer. among the 4 options provided, you must give me the reasons why you eliminate the other 3. ஆன்சர் ஜஸ்டிஃபை பண்றது கஷ்டம், ஆனா ஆன்சர் ஏன் எலிமினேட் பண்றேன்னு சொல்லலாம்ல. அதுதான் அட்லீஸ்ட் as an aspirant ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ரெக்கமெண்ட் உனக்கு அது அங்கதான் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகுது. நீ தான் எலிமினேட் பண்ற, அப்ப நீ சொல்லணும் சோ நான் இந்த ரீசனுக்கா எலிமினேட் பண்ணேன். ரீசனிங் கரெக்ட்னா ஆன்சர் கரெக்டா வரும், ரீசனிங் தப்புனா அதுல இருந்து பில்ட் பண்ணிக்க. சிம்பிள். புரிஞ்சுதா? Read option A louder. Anyone?
Modernization more connected practice of in the late 1960s as a result of the funds made available by the tax.
Okay. Take it as an equation. Let me make it very, very simple. X resulted in Y. That is what they claim. What is the X? X is tax cut resulted in US prosperity. This is what they claim. I made it a simple equation. Is it understood? Tax cut of one particular year resulted in prosperity of country. Correct? Yes or no? X resulted in Y. Correct? What does the question ask you to do? Question asks you to break the link. That's all. So think logically. What should the right choice do? What should the right choice do? Should break the link. I'll come to that particular point a bit later. Now, this is what the text is. This is what the claim is. Clear? Very clear. Choice A. Give me the meaning. You have read it, right? What does A mean?
Modernization is more connected tax பண்ண bill பண்ண
அப்ப meaning என்ன? Connect it to the text. Connect it to the claim. Claim says US became prosperous because of tax cut. Option A says more factories are built from the amount, from the funds derived from tax cut. Roughly, correct? That is what option A says. So, does option A speaks in favor of the claim, or is it opposing the claim? Is it strengthening the claim, or is it weakening the claim? Sure? For sure? The question's keyword, ஏன் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ண சொன்னாங்கிறதுக்கு இதுதான் அர்த்தம். கொஸ்டினோட கீவேர்ட் ஸ்ட்ரென்த்னா ஆன்சர் ஏ. புரியுதா? இங்க கொஸ்டின் என்ன கேக்குது? வீக்கன். ஆன்சர் எதுவா இருந்துட்டு போட்டோம், ஆனா ஏ டெஃபினெட்லி ராங்னு தெரியும்ல. That's the first step in aptitude classes, particularly for CSAT. Even if you learn to eliminate one answer choice in one class, enough. You know it for sure that you're moving towards the right choice. Learn to acquire confidence. ஒரு சாய்ஸ் எலிமினேட் பண்ணாலும் அந்த சாய்ஸ் கண்டிப்பா தப்பு. நீ ஆன்சர் கேக் வெயிட் பண்ண கூடாதுடா. உனக்கு ஷியோரா தெரியும் ஆன்சர் சாய்ஸ் தப்பு. ஆன்சர் சாய்ஸ் ஏ தப்பு. கொஸ்டின் நம்பர் 1. கரெக்ட் தானே? Because A speaks in favor of tax cut, which means it strengthens. Question asks you to weaken. I have a clear reason to eliminate A. Correct? Correct தானே? A is eliminated. B. So, that is your reason. First, read option B.
Improved economic condition in Western Europe and Japan. Japan resulted in substantially increase in demand for US oil and goods in the late 90s.
What does option B mean?
More exposed.
புரியுதா? புரியலையா? நீ என்ன சொல்லக்கூடாது, சார் அது டெக்ஸ்டோட ரொம்ப பெருசா இருந்துச்சு ஆனா நான் பிஏ படிக்கல. கரெக்டா? அப்படிதான் சொல்லுவ. டெக்ஸ்டே சிம்பிளா தான் இருந்துச்சு, பி ஆப்ஷன் ரொம்ப பெருசா இருந்துச்சு அதனால படிக்கலாங்க. அதை பி படிச்சா மீனிங் புரியுதா? புரியுதா? புரியலையா? தற்சமயம் புரியலன்னு வச்சுக்கோ, reserve it. I'm just giving an example. You're reading one choice. You could understand the meaning for the choice. Only then you can validate it. சாய்ஸோட மீனிங் என்னன்னு தெரிஞ்சாதானே வேலிடேட் பண்ண முடியும். ஆப்ஷன் ஏ படிச்ச புரிஞ்சது, அதை கிளைமோட வேலிடேட் பண்ற. question weaken பண்ண சொல்லுது, option strengthen பண்ணுச்சு. அதனால you have a reason to eliminate A. B படிச்ச choice புரிஞ்சுக்க முடியல. D is preserved. C.
Concerning tax centers that promote prompted investors to transfer their savings to more economically productive businesses.
Okay, so tax cut created a caveat that prompted investors to funds to. So does C strengthens or weaken? Sure? Are you sure? So confidently, two answer choices are eliminated. C also strengthens. C is wrong. For sure. Right? Option D. Read option D. Okay. What does D do to the argument or do to the claim? It strengthens. How? What is the meaning of option D? Then you take a conclusion. Does it strengthen or does it weaken? And there are various layers of reasoning. I am starting with the first fundamental one. Okay. நீ டிஃபால்ட் நினைச்சுக்காத 4 சாய்ஸ் கொடுத்தா 3 சாய்ஸ் ஸ்ட்ரென்தன் பண்ணும் 1 சாய்ஸ் வீக்கன் பண்ணும் அந்த 1 சாய்ஸ் ஆன்சர் நினைக்காத. There are different layers of reasoning. First question, I am deliberately setting it very, very simple for you to get the real requirement of CSAT. There are many, many templates. உன்னோட கன்க்ளூஷன் நீ வந்து ஜம்ப் பண்ணிடாத. ஆன்சர் சாய்ஸ் either should strengthen or weaken. No. Choice D is irrelevant. நான் ரீசன் சொல்றேன், நீ ஜஸ்டிஃபை பண்ண. Choice D is irrelevant. எத்தனை வேர்ட்ஸ்ல வச்சு அப்படி கொண்டு வரலாம் irrelevant? Could be. அதோட இன்னும் சிம்பிளான க்ளூ இருக்கு. Wait. அதனால build on. You're right. You deserve a clap. Superb. This is what I require, and this is what your CSAT requires. That analytical bent of mind. The claim of the argument is because of tax cut, US became prosperous. You are discussing how a country became prosperous, correct? You are discussing the prosperity of a country. First word, option D, out. Personal income. Are we discussing income of a citizen? And personal income, that is one. Personal income two. We are talking about prosperity of a nation. Disconnect, irrelevant. Yes, and personal income, not necessarily it has to be to the US citizens alone. It is too generic. Second layer in which you can dismiss option D. Do you get it? First, do you get my point? We're not discussing personal income here, are we? No, we are discussing prosperity of a country. Option D says nothing about it, so it is not relevant to the context. Option D is irrelevant. Your reasoning should be threadbare. இங்க பாரு, நீ CSAT comprehension வந்து அடுக்கடுக்கா சொல்றல ரீசன்ஸ், அதெல்லாம் விட்டுரு. ஒரே ஒரு சென்டென்ஸ் கொடுத்தாலும் நான் பண்ண சொல்றேன். இது இந்த காம்ப்ரிஹென்ஷனை நீ இப்படி பிராக்டிஸ் பண்ணிருக்கியாங்கிறத ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நீ போய் செக் பண்ணு. காம்ப்ரிஹென்ஷன்ங்கிறத எப்படி பார்க்கணுங்கிறது தான் நான் உனக்கு சொல்லி கொடுக்குறது. I'm just creating and exposure to the right way of answering comprehension questions. And this is what your CSAT comprehension requires. ஒரே ஒரு சென்டென்ஸ எத்தனை பெர்ஸ்பெக்டிவ்ஸ்ல பாக்குற அப்படின்னு. You're not asked to do a math exercise. That is how you got trapped. Most common traps. Okay, is it understood? So A is wrong, C is wrong, D is wrong. Objective type test, B by default must be right. அப்படி சொன்னா நீ ஒத்துக்கியா என்ன? நீங்க முதல்ல ப்ரூவ் பண்ணுங்க எப்படி வந்து B வந்து வீக்கெண்ட் பண்ணுன்னு கேட்பல, கேட்பியா? கேள்றா ஓகேவா? Come on, read B.
Improved economic conditions in Europe and Japan resulted in substantial increased demand for logistics, manufacturing goods in the region.
Okay, so your argument stated X resulted in Y. Tax cut resulted in prosperity of United States, right? Whereas option B says it brings in a new factor that there has been a demand for US manufactured goods. Due to the demand for US manufactured goods across the world or in other countries, it's understood. Paper 1 படிச்சிருப்பால, economics fundamentals எல்லாம் தெரியும்ல, அந்த assumption எடுத்தா கூட உனக்கு easy can connect the logic that it's not US became prosperous. Still B says US became prosperous is intact. How? Not because of tax cut, but because of the demand for US goods. It breaks the chain. Answer is B, it weakens the claim. So comprehension is not superficial. நீ இது வரைக்கும் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கிறதெல்லாம் மேலோட்டமா பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கல, that's not comprehension. And for an aspirant, that's the least quality of an aspirant. An aspirant must have an ability to look beyond what is stated, and that is what UPSC wants you to develop, to have that ability to look beyond what is being stated. And you start developing these. Okay, these are the important qualities. Question number 2, follow the steps 1, 2, 3 and show it in your notebook. Claim of the second text. What does the question ask you to do? And the analysis. I'll give you just 2 minutes time for question number 2. I want the entire layout in your notebook. Everyone. Sorry guys, the session got delayed. You would have been informed that you will be here 5 o'clock. Until what time is it closed to be here? Till 4 o'clock. So I can continue till midnight, right? Huh? Yes, sir. Can I extend it for another afternoon? Samples are okay. Everyone? Here. Now, the claim for the second question. Once again, is just 2 sentences, right? What's the claim? For the second question. Huh? Huh? Okay. It is partial. It hasn't addressed the claim completely. It's incomplete. Your answer is. Step 1. You're reading 2 sentences. I'm just asking you to find the claim. Simple.
So why is
Right? Is better. Question number 2. What is the claim? It is. It's very vague, Dharma. Be specific. Simple. Okay. First, have you understood? How many of you have understood the claim? Is there anyone finding it difficult to understand? None. If you find it difficult to express it in English, say it in Tamil. Claim and argument number 2. Louder. Well done. The claim says increase in crime rate is due to weak judiciary. Correct? That's the logic. Pick the logic enough. உனக்கு நிறைய திறமை இருக்குங்கிறத நீ ஒத்துக்க மாட்டேங்கிற. 3 மணி நேரம் படம் பார்த்து வந்துட்டு டேய் படம் எப்படி இருக்குன்னு கேட்டா சொல்றியா இல்லையா? மச்சான் ஒண்ணுமே இல்லடா அப்படின்னு ஒரே சென்டென்ஸ் சொல்றல்ல, அதே தான் இங்கேயும் கேட்கிறேன். ஒரு சென்டென்ஸ் படிச்சுட்டு என்ன சொல்றாங்கிறத சம் அப் பண்ணி பழகு. Got it? Right? அதே தாண்டா அங்க வந்து விஷுவல் மீடியத்துல ஒரு டெக்ஸ்ட் பார்க்க ஒரு ஆத்தரோட பிரசன்டேஷன் விஷுவல் மீடியத்துல இருக்கு. இதே டெம்ப்ளேட் இப்படி எடுத்துக்கோ. It's in black and white. Again an author's presentation of an idea. It's in black and white. ஆத்தர் என்ன சொல்றாருங்கிறத உனக்கு கேட்கிறேன். He says it could be right or wrong. That's different. The author claims crime rate has gone up due to lenient judgment, or we can say weak judiciary. Simple. Claim புரிஞ்சுதா? Is it understood? Question. The question asks you to weaken. I just want to know whether you are following me. So I am repeating the same question type once again. The question asks you to weaken. Upper secondum clear. So the 2 fundamental requirements are met. What are the 2 fundamental requirements? You must know the claim and you must know what is the question asked to do with the claim. So clearly understood? You must get me the answer. Start your analysis. Option A. Louder.
85% of the other states in the nation have lower freight rates than the state.
Okay. What is your opinion? Is it right, wrong, reserved, irrelevant? Others? Relevant. So it's a mixed response. To start with, I reserve it. I'll come back to it later. Option B.
So, the state has also rupees to pay over.
Okay. Do you want to keep it or do you want to eliminate? Eliminate. Why? Strengthens. How? எப்போ ஆல்சோன்னு ஒரு வேர்ட் பார்த்துட்டியோ மைண்ட்ல வச்சுக்கோ. ஆல் திஸ் இஸ் ஸ்ட்ரக்சரல் க்ளூஸ். ஆல்சோனா என்னடா அப்படின்னு என்ன அர்த்தம்? இட் கோஸ் இன் தி டைரக்ஷன் ஆஃப் தி ஆர்குமெண்ட். கீப் தட் இன் யுவர் மைண்ட். ஆல்சோ நோட் வந்துச்சுன்னா இட் டிராவல்ஸ் இன் த சேம் டைரக்ஷன். உங்க கொஸ்டின் என்ன கேக்குது? ஆப்போசிட். அப்போ பி கண்டிப்பா ஆன்சரா இருக்காது. பி இஸ் டெஃபினெட்லி ராங் சாய்ஸ். இஸ் இட் அண்டர்ஸ்டுட்? Is this understood? B is wrong. யாருக்காவது புரியலையா? Everyone knows it, right? Option C.
35% of the OECD states have been laid off in the last year due to budgets.
How many of you want to keep it? How many of you want to eliminate? Your answers. You want to keep it? Keep it. Others? அதர்ஸ் தான். ஏண்டா ஒன்னு கீப் இட்னு சொல்லணும், இல்ல எலிமினேட் சொல்லணும். நீ எதுவுமே சொல்லல. ஓகே, ஆப்ஷன் டி. ஓகே, what should I do? Eliminate? How many of you say D should be eliminated? 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Okay. How? Okay. Capital punishment என்ன? Capital punishment means? கண்ணா, capital punishment என்ன நீ சொல்லு. What is? நீ attending CSAT classes உன்னை கேட்டதானடா? Capital punishment means sentencing one to death, right? Okay, va? So your logic is right, both of you. If 65% of the population majority, if majority oppose capital punishment, it may explain why judges are lenient. It explains it may. Therefore, D is actually strengthening the argument. D can be eliminated. So now you're between two choices. Either could be A or C. அது உனக்கு எந்த சாய்ஸ் பிடிக்குதோ சூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு எதுனா ஆன்சர். Why A is wrong? I am not asking you to support why C is right. My question is, you have chosen C. Why A is wrong? So, complete it. You're taking a logic, but you need to complete it. You're right. You're right. But complete it.
There's no evidence about other states and not actually.
others. லாஜிக் என்னன்னா, சரி ஏ படிச்சேன் எனக்கு அது சரியா புரியல, சி படிச்சேன் புரியுது, அதனால ஓகே சி எடுத்துக்கிறேன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். டேய் எல்லாமே யூஜி முடிச்சு வச்சல, யூஜி முடிஞ்சது இல்ல. அல்ல அட்லீஸ்ட் ஏதோ ஒரு சப்ஜெக்ட் மார்க் கம்மியா தான் வாங்கியிருப்பேன். எல்லா சப்ஜெக்ட் மார்க் கம்மியா வாங்கியிருக்கிறது டிஃப்ரெண்ட் கேட்டகரி, அவனெல்லாம் விட்டுரு. அட்லீஸ்ட் ஏதோ சப்ஜெக்ட்லயாவது மார்க் கம்மியா வாங்கியிருப்பல்ல, வாங்கியிருப்பே இல்லையா? அப்ப யாரோ ஒருத்தர் கூப்பிட்டு கேட்கணும்னா அட்லீஸ்ட் உங்க அப்பாவோ அம்மாவோ கேட்கறாங்க, ஏன் இந்த சப்ஜெக்ட்ல மார்க் குறைஞ்சதுன்னு கேட்கறாங்க, என்ன பதில் சொல்லுவ? ஏன் இந்த சப்ஜெக்ட்ல மார்க் கம்மின்னு கேட்கறாங்க, என்ன சொல்லுவ? மோஸ்ட் காமன் ஆன்சர்ஸ் எல்லாருமே கம்மியா தான் வாங்கியிருக்காங்க. சரியா? இதே அதிகம். கேட்ட கொஸ்டின் என்ன? உன்னை கேட்டது இந்த சப்ஜெக்ட்ல ஏன் மார்க் கம்மின்னு, நீ கொடுக்குற ஆன்சர் என்ன? எல்லாருமே மார்க் கம்மி. அந்த நீ கொடுக்குற ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் கேட்ட கொஸ்டினுக்கு ஆன்சரா? Now read it. Claim says crime rate in this state has gone up due to weak judiciary. You have to give a clear reason why it has gone up or why it has come down or how it could be, right? What's the need for comparing it to other crime rates of other states? Irrelevant. உன்னை கேட்டது உன் சப்ஜெக்ட்ல ஏன் மார்க் கம்மின்னு கேட்டா நான் படிக்கல இல்லைன்னா வேற ரீசன் சொல்லாமே ஒழிய, மத்தவங்க மார்க் கம்மிங்கிறது அது ஆன்சர் அல்ல. அதேதான் இங்கேயும். ஆப்ஷன் ஏ இஸ் மேக்கிங் கம்பாரிசன் which is not relevant. Option A is wrong. Answer is C. How does it weaken? There is a reduction in police force that could explain why there could be an increase in crime rate. So it cannot be due to weak judiciary. It's because of this. It breaks the chain. Answer is option C. Third question. Make it fast with that. I'd like to close the class. If we could move faster, I can add one more question. Let's see. Repeat the steps. Step 1, claim. Step 2, question. Step 3, analysis. நீ அதை பண்ணனா மட்டும்தான் ஆன்சர் போகணும். Second question. It again it strengthens. Moreover, answer choice distort பண்ணாத. When you're taking an analytical view, it is for that word, it is for that structure we are eliminating it. நீ அதை distort பண்ணா choice மாறும். You are on a given question set, so don't distort the answer choices. Work with the logic. One. Now coming to this particular question, what does it say?
It is not also more or less equal. So it means
How?
Because recently.
So that means not only this also, right? Not only that particular type, the second type is also going up.
More or less equal.
Fine.
But the is
No, no, no. We can have this discussion after the class. Focus on question number 3. Question number 3. Now I want these 3 things to be answered: claim, question, and then the choice. Done? What is a claim? Question number 3.
It will be all newspapers or media, daily or application, content. So, option A is the
Mm-mm. Claim. Stop with the claim.
assumption
That's a question. Step 1. Claim.
to speak calculation,
Wait. I'll come to you.
then application, content, giving a statement.
Is that a claim? You are giving me a part of the argument, Rama. Okay, that is fabrication. So what? What does the author claim? What does the author say here? இருக்கு, ஆமா, ஃபேப்ரிகேஷன்ஸ் இருக்கு, ட்ரூத் ஃபேப்ரிகேஷன் இருக்கனாலே ட்ரூத் மென்ஷன் ஆகலன்னு அர்த்தம். ஓகே, அதனால கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணணும், அப்பதான் வந்து லாஜிக் கம்ப்ளீட் ஆகும். கிளைம் எப்படி எடுப்ப?
There are more fundamental substitution of the article rather than what is being presented to us.
That is what the claim is. You have to make it complete. The reason increase in fabrications indicate that publishers
Make a choice of what is being presented.
still more specific. Others. This is not an easy question. First text புரிஞ்சுதா? Have you identified the claim? அங்கே பிரச்சனை வந்திருக்கணும். வல்லனா well and good. Have you identified the claim? What is the claim? You have to put it in a sentence, Dhamma. Crime rate has increased due to weak judiciary. Sentence is complete. அதுதான் நீ claim எடுத்துட்டு அப்புறம் கொஸ்டினுக்கு போக முடியும். இதுல நீ பார்ட் பை பார்ட் phrase சொல்ற அப்படின்னா சென்டென்ஸே ஃப்ரேம் பண்ண முடியலன்னா எப்படி நீ வந்து கொஸ்டினுக்கு போக முடியும்? ஃபேப்ரிகேஷன்ஸ் இருக்கு, நியூஸ் பேப்பர்ஸ் இருக்கு. ஓகே, connect these two. What is the author trying to claim here? So apply the common logic. Okay, fine. The answers are right. All your answers are right. But I want a concise one.
Interested in circulation mode rather than thinking that.
So that talks to the intention of the publishers, right? எதுக்கு fabrication prefer பண்ற? So according to the author, increase in fabrications indicate publishers are interested in sales. Only then the claim gets completed. நீ fabrication நிறுத்தினாலும் sales நிறுத்தினாலும் claim complete ஆகாம question போய் உன்னால ஒண்ணும் பண்ண முடியாது. First try to get the claim correct. Am I right? We're able to get it? இது எல்லாத்துக்கும் புரிஞ்சுதா? எல்லாத்துக்குமே புரிஞ்சுதா? Everyone? Has everyone understood the claim? Increase in fabrications resulted in or indicates that publishers are more keen on sales or more interested in sales. Correct? Yes? நீங்க என்ன கேட்டிருந்திருக்கணும்? நீ என்ன கேட்டிருந்திருக்கணும்? எனக்கு போல்ஸ்னா மீனிங் தெரியல, கன்டென்ஷன்ங்கிற வேர்டுக்கு மீனிங் தெரியல, அதனால எனக்கு டெக்ஸ்டே படிக்க முடியலன்னு தானே சொல்லியிருக்கணும். உன்னோட ப்ரீவியஸ் ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் எல்லாம் ப்ராப்ளமா இருந்திருந்தா நீ தானே சொன்ன எனக்கு வேர்ட்ஸ் படிச்சா தெரியல, கனெக்ட் பண்ண முடியல, டெக்ஸ்டோட மீனிங்கே தெரியலன்னு தானே சொல்லிட்டு இருந்த. அப்ப நீ என்ன கிளைம் கேட்டா நீ என்ன சொன்ன? சார் என்னால கிளைம் சொல்ல முடியாது, ஏன்னா அந்த வேர்ட்ஸ் மீனிங்கே தெரியாதுன்னு சொல்லி இருக்கணும்ல. அப்படி உனக்கு கிளைம் புரியுது. So first step away from the misconceptions. நீயா நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்க trouble கிடையாது. That's entirely different. I'll come to that particular part little later. Okay, first start where you need to focus on. and I already given you a choice. You must ensure whether you're able to get the claim. Then you should go for the question. When these two things have been done, that's when you will decide whether you will be answering the question or not. Okay. So, or at least you could have given me the third prize by attending the class. Sir, I am skipping this question. அப்படி சொல்லியிருந்தா நீ ப்ரீவியஸா லிஸ்ட் அவுட் பண்ண ரீசன்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஆக்சுவல் ரீசன்ஸ். Now you go and check it out again. Give it a second look. Do ask yourself what exactly prevents you in getting the answer and comprehension, and then come back to me for the next class. Is it understood? Okay. Now the claim is this. The claim is increased or increase in the number of fabrications indicate that publishers are interested in sales. This is a second or a third level of difficulty. This is not a simpler one as you found it in text 1. Text 1 படிச்சதுமே புரியும் இல்லையா? அந்த மாதிரி இது இல்ல. கொஞ்சம் யோசிக்கணும். Got it? Is it understood? Is it clear? Yes. Good. So you understood the claim. Now, இப்ப போல்ஸ்வர்க்னா மீனிங் என்ன, கண்டென்ஷன் மீனிங் என்ன, நீ என்ன கேட்காத. போல்ஸ்வர்க் மீனிங் என்னவா இருக்க முடியும், கண்டென்ஷன் மீனிங் என்னவா இருக்க முடியும்னு நீ போய் யோசி கான்டெக்ஸ்டுவலா. ஓகேவா? எல்லாமே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன் உனக்கு சொல்றது ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கும். இட் வில் பி ஸ்ட்ராங் யூசேஜ். வில் டேக் ஸ்டெப் பை ஸ்டெப். கான்டெக்ஸ்டுவல் வெக்காபுலரி எப்படி எடுக்கணும், கான்டெக்ஸ்டுவல் மீனிங் எப்படி அக்வயர் பண்ணுங்கிறது அப்புறம் பார்த்துக்கலாம். ஓகேவா? நவ் யூ ஆர் இன் a position to understand the claim. Correct? Simple. அதான் நான் சொல்லியிருந்தேன். You watch a movie, you can able to sum up what the movie is about. சரியா? At this point of time, even if the movie runs in a French language, you can say you could watch it for 2 hours and tell me this is what the movie is about. And that's what happening, right? Englishல பேச overall உனக்கு புரியுதா என்ன? The same logic applies. Okay? But there are various reasons on various levels of reasoning undergoes in the process. That is not the subject to be discussed right now. Let me come back to the third question. What's the keyword in the question? Question number 3. So the question asks you to? Okay. What does it mean? அசம்ஷன்ங்கிற வார்த்தைக்கு அதுதான் அர்த்தமா? What does the word assumption mean? And I'm asking you a question. You are in a discussion. What does the question mean? What does the word assumption mean? Huh? Assumption வார்த்தைக்கு இதுதான் சார் மீனிங் சொல்றா. நீ சொல்ற ஆன்சர் உனக்கு கன்வின்சிங்கா இருக்கா ஃபர்ஸ்ட்? ஏன்னா எனக்கு கன்வின்சிங்கா இல்லாதான் கேட்டேன். அசம்ஷன்ங்கிற வார்த்தைக்கு மீனிங் சொல்லு பார்க்கலாம். எங்கெங்கெல்லாம் தப்பு பண்றேன்னு மறுபடியும் இண்டிகேட் பண்றேன். நீ ஆன்சர் சாய்ஸ்ல நிக்கிற. You will be taking this step very, very lighter. You haven't understood the question completely. And you are on the answer choice. Have you asked yourself what does the question mean? Tell me. No. It's better. கொஸ்டினோட மீனிங் எடுக்காம எப்படி ஆன்சர் சாய்ஸ் போவ? அப்படியே நீ போனாலும் ஆன்சர் எப்படி வர கரெக்டா வரப்போகுது? நீ எப்படி அங்க அனலைஸ் பண்ண போற? எப்படி இதுதான் சாய்ஸ் பிக் பண்ண போற? எதுக்கு நடக்காது? What does the word assumption mean? சரி, I'll make 3 statements. Okay? Respond in the way that you want to. Statement 1. The next upcoming elections, Narendra Modi may become the Prime Minister. What is your response? ரெஸ்பான்சஸ் நீங்க பிஜேபியா அப்படிதானே கேட்பேன். ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்டுக்கு எப்படி ரெஸ்பாண்ட் பண்ணுவேன்னு நான் கேட்டேன். Okay, maybe. Okay, in the next upcoming elections, Rahul Gandhi may not become the prime minister. What's the response? Huh? Response enna? அது ராகுல் காந்திக்கே தெரியும். Again, the response is maybe. Statement 3, in the next upcoming elections, okay, Mamata Banerjee may become the prime minister. What is the response? ஏன் அந்த வேர்ட் யூஸ் பண்ற? தேர்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் வரும்போது தான் இந்த வேர்டு வருது. இதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அந்த ரெண்டு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் அந்த வேர்டே வரல. Get me the meaning for the word assumption now. தேர்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் சொல்லும் போது இது காமன் கான்வர்சேஷன் நடக்கிறது தான். ஓகேவா? எப்போ நீயும் ஒன்னு அசியூம் பண்ணி, நீ என்ன சொல்ல வர? சார் நீங்களும் ஒன்னு அசியூம் பண்ணாதீங்க அப்படிதானே கேட்க போற. தேர்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்டுக்கு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டூ ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு நீ என்ன சொன்ன? மேபி ஐ மே நாட் பி அக்ரீட் ஆர் டிஸ்அக்ரி. கரெக்டா? அட்லீஸ்ட் யூ அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் தேர் ஆர் பாசிபிலிட்டிஸ். ஆனா தேர்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்டுக்கு நீங்களும் அசியூம் பண்ணிக்காதீங்கிற வேர்ட் கண்டிப்பா வரும். உன்னோட ரெஸ்பான்ஸா ஏன் அசியூம்ங்கிற வேர்டு இந்த கான்டெக்ட்ல யூஸ் பண்ற? அசம்ஷன்ங்கிற வேர்ட் பார்த்தேன்னா ஆத்தர்ஸ் லாஜிக் இஸ் ஷேக்கி. என்னோட லாஜிக், நான் சொன்ன ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் வந்து இஸ் நாட் கம்ப்ளீட்லி ட்ரூ, இஸ் நாட் ட்ரூலி லாஜிக்கல் ஆர் இஸ் இல்லாஜிக்கல். நான் ஒரு இல்லாஜிக்கல் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் கொடுக்கும் போதுதான் நீ ஏன் அசியூம் பண்ணாத, நீங்களும் அசியூம் பண்ணாதீங்கன்னு சொல்லுவேன். கரெக்டா? So that is an indication that fact presented, the text presented is on a shaky premise or is illogical. Assumption connects back. You have to go back to the text once again and come back. இதுக்கு முன்னாடி எல்லாம் டெக்ஸ்ட் படிச்சுட்டு question word படிச்சுட்டு straight answer choice பண்ணலாம். You have to go backwards. Is it clear? First assumption word என்ன மீனிங் புரிஞ்சிருச்சா? One standard question type in CSAT. Will be given set of statements, can be given as assumptions, a set of assumptions, and with reference to the content given in the passage, validate the following assumptions. So simple, whatever being stated as assumptions may not be completely true or could be illogical. எப்படி வேணாலும் எடுத்துக்கலாம். Now start looking at the answer choices. Option A. It's a very difficult question. Please follow me very closely. If you miss any point, ask me to repeat. It's very, very critical. Option A. Why?
The sentences increases in the number of weeks, but that does not mean it has not been happening in the past. And A option says it is the recent phenomenon. It's not recent, it's been happening, but from the present it's just increased.
Could be a logic, but it's not convincing enough. It's not strong enough to judge whether it can be reserved or can be thrown out. Any other reason? Think very closely, get into the text, read it once again and come back. I'm going to give you the next structural clue, and it's very, very important. This caters to your level of understanding also. Assumption word என்ன அர்த்தம்? Assumption என்ன சொன்னேன்? Assumption previous classல வந்து உனக்கு தெரியும், நான் வந்து words passive speech exercise எல்லாம் கொடுத்திருந்தேன். Assumptionங்கிறது noun, அதோட verb form என்ன? Assume. Assume என்ன அர்த்தம்? Assume என்ன? Assume meaning என்னடா? Guess. சரியா? Still deeper. Assumption, assume words na inward reasoning. It is happening internally. நீங்களா ஒன்னு அசியூம் பண்ணிக்காதீங்க. நீ என்ன சொல்ற? என்னோட லாஜிக் நான் திங்க் பண்றது தப்பு. கரெக்டா? Get my point? It is intrinsic. அப்போ ஹிடனா தான் இருக்கணும். ஆன்சர் வரது ஆன்சர் சாய்ஸ், ரைட் ஆன்சர் சாய்ஸ். அசம்ஷன்ங்கிறதோட ஆன்சர் சாய்ஸ் ஹிடன் ஐடியா தான் எடுக்கணுமே ஒழிய எக்ஸ்பிளிசிட் ஐடியா எடுக்கிறது ரைட் ஆன்சர் சாய்ஸா இருக்காது. Could be that's the next level, but you can be very sure that the answer for the assumption question is implicit. It cannot be explicit. சரியா? வெளிப்படையா சொல்லியிருந்தா அதை ஏன் நீ வந்து அசியூம் பண்றங்கிற? நீங்களும் அசியூம் பண்ணீங்கிற வேர்டு என்ன மீன் பண்ற? That is happening with my logic, correct? Okay, so keep that in your mind. For all assumption questions, answer choices carrying explicit information can be considered incorrect. Option A reflects or echoes the question, right? It cannot be the answer because it carries explicit information, whereas assumption answer has to be implicit. A is eliminated. Higher level of reasoning, you have to go and look at it again. Look at it tomorrow morning. Look at the question once again tomorrow morning. And recall what I told you. Take some assumption question, you apply it, you will get it right. Is it understood? Okay. Option B. Louder. Okay, so how many of you have picked B as the answer? 1, 2, 3. Others, give me the reasons why B is wrong. No. You have picked B. I'm asking those who are eliminated B. My question will always go for elimination. Those who are eliminated B can say why B is wrong. அதுக்காக சொல்லாத நானும் B choose பண்ணிருக்கேன். So can I say that you are inconclusive on B then? நீ கரெக்ட்னு சொல்ல முடியல, ராங்னு சொல்ல முடியல, ரிசர்வ் பண்ணிருக்க, அப்படியே எடுத்துக்கலாமா? Okay. Few have taken that as a choice, so I'll come to those people little later. C.
Fact checking is more comprehensive for minor applications than measurements.
C is why? இவ்வளவு கஷ்டப்பட்டதுக்கு அது ஒரே ஒரு ஆன்சர் சாய்ஸ் தான், கொஞ்சமாவது க்ளூ கொடுக்குது, அது தப்புங்கிறது. கரெக்ட் தானே? Why? What's the logic? There isn't any reference to major and minor publications. All the author says that publications in general, there is no categorization made in the argument. We can be very sure C is wrong. Option D.
The publishers of newspaper are the people who decide what to print in their newspaper.
Okay, now we are left with two choices. Those who are inconclusive, you have to repeat the process again. Step 1, step 2, and the analysis. Previously, there were 4 choices, now there were 2 choices. But you need to repeat the steps again. Step 1, step 2, and step 3.
That means probably by the choice of by the people.
No, first tell me your choice.
B.
Your pick D. Okay. B is the answer. B. D is the answer. Okay. Others. Hey, you have to tell me whether you can get it or where you are stopped. I'm waiting for you to give me the answers. You're with D. B. இது எப்படின்னா நான் கேட்கறதா நீ ஆன்சர் பண்றாங்க மாதிரி இருக்கு. Tell me what's the choice that you have chosen, because I will ask for the reason for elimination. The next thing. Okay, fine. Option B is the most tempting answer choice, and that is a trap. Welcome to CSAT comprehension. B is a trap. Read B again. Must be. What is it? What does it mean? You need to connect. This is the next layer of reasoning. That is one question with three different perspectives. Claim, assumption, then assumption. You have to go back, come back. You need to understand implicit and explicit. And you're on the most common template. B is a tempting answer choice, and everyone will fall for it. The reason is option B presents a solution. Does the question ask you to find a solution for the problem presented? B is out. Must be என்னடா must be நால என்ன அர்த்தம் recommendation சரியா எப்ப நீ recommend பண்ணுவ should be must be எப்ப யூஸ் பண்ணுவ இதுதான் problem அந்த problem எப்படி அவாய்ட் பண்ணலாம் அப்படினா நீ என்ன சொல்ல must be should be சொல்லுவ option B is proposing the solution for the problem presented. Problem as stated by the author is increase in fabrications indicate authors are interested in sales. So how can you minimize fabrications? அடுத்ததான வரும். How can you minimize fabrication? நீ சொல்லலாம். Ensure that everything is factually verifiable. It proposes a solution. But does the question ask you to do that? This is how you will be easily misled. This is why this step is very, very crucial. And when I tell you to go back, especially when you're stuck between two choices, you will never do it. Examiner typically predicts your behavior. And thereby he sets a trap and you fall into it. You lose your marks. You think that you have gained answer, but your score will be dipping. Because you've chosen a wrong choice and there is a penalty. It's understood, right? B is a recommendation made by the author to mitigate the solution. Question doesn't ask you to find the solution. Answer is D. Read D. Okay, what does the author say that recent increase in fabrications indicate that publishers are interested in sales? Because he thinks, to his understanding, it is the editor who chooses the news item. அப்படின்னு அவர் நினைச்சிட்டு இருந்தால்தான் இப்படி ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் சொல்ல முடியும். That is the assumption. Assumption is always unstated. It's always unstated. I said hidden, implicit னு சொல்லியிருந்தேன் சரியா அது டெக்ஸ்ட்ல இருக்காது நீ தான் அதை எடுத்து கனெக்ட் பண்ணிக்கணும். இப்ப D அப்ளை பண்ண you will understand why the author says so. Question இன்னி ஒரு லெவல்ல இன்னி நெக்ஸ்ட் லெவல்ல படிக்கணும்டா. Find out the assumption made என்ன அர்த்தம்? Questionலயே டிஃபரன்ஸ் இருக்கு. Which of the statements weakens the claim கேக்குறதுக்கும் find out the assumption made ன்னு என்ன அர்த்தம்? Find out the assumption made என்ன அர்த்தம்? சரி first statement. Which of the statements weakens the claim? There you are asked to do it. இந்த நாலு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் எது வீக்கன் பண்ணது நீ பாருன்னு அர்த்தம் கரெக்டா? Find the assumption made ன்னு அர்த்தம். Assumption has already been made by the author. It is a tricky level of question. Do you get my point? Author has already made the assumption. Find out the assumption made in the argument. The author has made the assumption. You have to find the assumption made by the author. It's a tricky question. So text is very simple, just one line. Still, it would be as challenging as a CSAT comprehension passage, and that is how I gonna set for every CSAT comprehension class. I'll introduce you to all possible templates so that when I complete the course, you'll be introduced to not only the existing question templates, but all possible templates that you can expect in CSAT comprehension. More specifically to CSAT comprehension alone. That's the goal, because you're here to crack CSAT, right? அப்படின்னு நான் நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கிறேன். அப்படி நீங்க அசியூம் பண்ணிட்டே இருங்க. சரியா? Right? If that is the case. And this is how you need to work out the questions. I just dealt with 3 questions. Look at the time taken. Almost 1.5 hours. Okay? You have to get into deeper understanding and needs tremendous amount of practice, where all these 3 steps are challenging, and more specifically the third one needs immense amount of practice so that you can equip yourself to the level of CSAT comprehension questions. This is understood? Okay, and this is just a part of it. The second part, quants and reasoning, you've done by Mr. Prabhu in the same way, where you will be open to new perspectives of approaching the question. The way that you take, and the requirement is almost 2 extremes. Now you recall what happened in the classes. Of course, it's being recorded. You can start with the beginning. What were all the challenges presented by you, and what are the remedies presented, and where the gap is in finding the solution, and you decide whether to come for the next class or not. Is it clear? Right? Okay. Wish you all the very best. Okay. Can I expect you tomorrow? Huh? What time? Fine then. So please, first, you enrolling for the course, attending the course completely, that's the next story. But we feel that at least we want to communicate this message. That's the reason we both are personally involved in conducting this free class. Convey this to your friends, that let them gain a new perspective to CSAT. The choice is to continue or not is completely theirs, but let them bring to a new understanding what CSAT is all about and how that can be cracked with confidence. The assurance is the very first class, I say it for sure. Complete our CSAT course and leave the rest to us. We will see to that you clear CSAT without any fret. Complete confidence you acquire while we complete the course on CSAT. That assurance is there, the very first class itself. Is it understood? Yes? Now, 2 minutes. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. That I'll talk to you personally. Yes, answer is B. Wait. That's a doubt that you have, right? Does anyone have doubt on question number 1? Because already I'm taking time. Those are completely understood. Those who have doubts can remain. Those who do not, you can walk out. And you can just to have a glimpse of our knack of taking you through CSAT, can look into Aptitude Buster YouTube channel. Okay, we have given solutions for 2022 also. That will take you to another way. Whether this will take you to the real need. The real need is you need to crack CSAT. How all this done? If you feel confident, come back. And when you come back, do bring at least 2 to 3 friends with you. Let them also learn. Okay, so those are doubts, stay. Those who have not doubts, please come back for the next session. Thank you.